Welcome to Divorce, Dating, and Empowered Living with your host, Rosalind Sedaka. Join Rosalind each week on a journey toward overcoming life's many challenges to achieve peace, empowerment, and positive transformation. It's time to relax, unwind, and transform your life with Rosalind Sedaka.
Hello, everybody. This is Amy Sherman. I'm at WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and I'm doing the Divorce, Dating, and Empowered Living show, co-hosting it with Rosalind Sedaka. Today I will be presenting myself, and I'll be talking about a very interesting topic, 12 ways to handle difficult people. And I'm sure we could all relate to that. We all pretty much have them in our lives. They may be our parents, it could be our siblings, could be our husbands or wives, coworkers, acquaintances, friends, certainly our divorced spouses. So I'm going to provide you today with suggestions to use on a day-to-day basis in your interactions with them. And hopefully you'll get some good insights into how you can handle them so that you can feel better and do better around these kinds of people. Now, difficult people, they display themselves in very different ways. They have different characteristics. They could be the know-it-alls, arrogant people, the opinionated people, critical, condescending, angry, blaming, offensive, manipulating, negative, abusive, combative, intimidating, backstabbers, bullies, and the list could go on and on and on. So what can you do? Well, the best thing to do is to avoid them if you can. But if you can't, I'm going to give you now 12, if we have time a lot. I hope to get all 12 of these suggestions in. They're helpful ideas that you can perhaps follow. If you listen carefully to what the other person is saying, many times it has nothing to do with you. So if that's the case, I want you to realize that if you don't react to what they're saying, you may not get caught into the garbage, so to speak. Chances are maybe it's their boredom, their exhaustion, their disappointments, and that's what's causing them to lash out at you. Now, this is important. More often, however, their troublesome behavior is habitual and repeated with everyone they know. So they're not really singling you out. They're difficult with everyone, and if you speak to other people about them, they're going to say, oh, yeah, I know that person. Yeah, definitely. So it is a habitual behavior. As a matter of fact, I do have a relative who is like that, and after knowing her for about 35 years, because she is a sister-in-law, she does say, I know I'm difficult. She finally realizes it. She says, I know I'm difficult to be around. She actually has mellowed out over the years, so she's more pleasant to be around. So that was number one. So just be aware that their behavior is very habitual, and it may be repeated with everyone they know, not only you. Number two, and the best thing for you to do is to conserve your composure around them, because getting angry only escalates things. So basically, you have to maintain your rationality and stay aware of the situation. Difficult people are experts, and they're experts at playing this game, and you are an amateur against their lifelong skills. And this is so important to realize. So please be aware that it doesn't help to try to get caught up in their stuff, because they really know what they're doing. They're expert manipulators. Number three, arguments are usually a battle of egos. So therefore, if you ask yourself, how important is it really to, win this argument? Is this argument important that I win with this person? Is it worth wasting my time and energy with someone who is always in a negative state of mind? Am I really ready to continue in this negative downward spiral myself? Because you know what happens? You get caught up. And you start feeling and doing negative things just because you're around them. You're more agitated, you're more angry, you're more upset about things, your stomach bothers you. They get you caught up. So it really is something to be aware of. Try not to, if you can, waste your time if you know that the end result is going to be what it always is. Number four, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and we know that. So opinions are just a matter of perspective. If you allow them to express their thoughts, maybe you could just let it go. Yeah, this is how they think. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to get caught up. Why get into a conflict with somebody if it's virtually impossible to change when someone really believes or even lives their lives this way? You know, you cannot change somebody's opinion no matter what you do, no matter what you say. It's just what it is. It's a no-win situation. So why even get caught up in it with them if you don't have to? You know, it's in your best interest if you relax, take it easy, don't get caught up, kind of go with the flow a little more, let them say what they want to say, and then move on. Sometimes it's hard to do that, but it is important if you can to be able to do that. Number 5, every time you are buying into someone's negativity, and I put those buying into in quotes, you are destroying your inner peace and personal enjoyment. As I said in number 4, that it's so easy to get caught up and ruin how you feel. You know, you feel good and all of a sudden you're agitated, you're angry, you're upset, your stomach is churning. The only one you truly hurt in all of this is yourself. And you have to know that it's almost impossible to argue them out of their negativity if they're already in the flow. So they're going to win no matter what, because remember, they're experts and you're an amateur. So what do? Well, try to respond with an optimistic response, and this can often diffuse the situation. So if someone is arguing with you and you're feeling that you get when you're around them, maybe you could say something more positive and uplifting to change how they feel. And I'll explain further when I talk about number 6. So before speaking rudely back to somebody who's offended you, ask yourself, will it help or will it hurt the situation? So if you feel it will help, then you could respond, hey, I'm not here to lay blame or even find fault. Let's try to look for a solution instead of arguing. I don't know if that will work, but sometimes, you know, it will jolt the other person into thinking, okay, you know, why bother? See what happens. If you can't talk civilly to each other, then there's no point in keeping the dialogue going because you know what's going to happen. You're going to wind up arguing, having a fight, and certainly you're the one who's going to walk away feeling worse because the person who is used to arguing, defending themselves, and making their point out loud will usually win because this is what they're used to doing. They walk away feeling good, and you will walk away feeling bad. We don't want that to happen. We're going to take a little break now. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and I'm doing the Divorce, Dating, and Empowered Living show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Hi, everybody. This is Amy Sherman, and I am doing the Divorce, Dating, and Empowered Living show on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are talking today about the 12 ways to handle difficult people. We have talked about 6 already, and we're going to talk a few minutes more on some of the other things that you can do to help you deal with these difficult people who are so manipulating, so angry and condescending, so critical all the time, maybe even intimidating and backstabbers. We're going to learn how you can handle them so that you feel better when you're around them and maybe don't get caught up in all of their baggage and all the stuff that's going on. So, number 7, sometimes it's important for you to just stand up for yourself. But if you get caught up in the other person's power struggle, again, you may not win. So sometimes you really have to evaluate, is it worth it? And resist the trap set by these difficult people by being aware of your own temptations to defend yourself. Sometimes it's healthier to just walk away. How difficult is that? I know it's difficult because, as I said earlier with my sister-in-law, it was rough to kind of let her go on and on and on to make her point when I was not feeling perhaps capable of making my point. She wouldn't let me. So, but if it's healthier for you to just walk away, maybe you just got to do that. Number 8, use appropriate language that would make these difficult people less defensive. So you may say things like, maybe it's possible to, and then talk about something else because we both can't agree on this one topic. Or would you be agreeable to maybe going to the movies instead of going to the museum? It'll be something that we could both do together and would agree upon. So come up with some alternative perhaps that will de-escalate the situation. Come up with words and expressions that will make it easier instead of saying, I want to do this or let's do that. Say, maybe it's possible to, or would you be agreeable to? Those are very good expressions that do help people compromise a little easier. Number 9, if you can change the subject by talking about something else, then do it. And in this way, you ignore their comment and you maintain your level-headedness. What that means is, they may start, let's say they're talking politics and you just don't want to get into it with them. Instead of even responding, say, oh, by the way, did you watch this television show yesterday? And the subject is changed so that maybe you just get caught up in something else that's a little more pleasant and a little more benign, and you won't get caught up in the argument. Number 10, be aware of your own hot buttons and the things that drive you crazy about this person. Not everybody will be pleasing and agreeable to you. You kind of know that. And not everybody's going to like you. You just have to be aware of your own expectations and perspective on things. It could just be that this person, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, it's just going to annoy you. You're never going to find them pleasing. And if you understand that, then maybe you could just avoid even getting into anything with them. Understand and be aware of your own expectations of them. And maybe you could look at them with the perspective that, oh, that poor person, is always arguing. That really must take a lot of energy out of them. I feel bad for them. And that way you can just, fluff it off and not be part of their downward negative spiral. Number 11. If you are regularly around these difficult people, it's really important to protect your self-esteem. Probably what they say about you or what they're doing to you is over-exaggerated, and it's really based on assumptions, and certainly it's not logical or even rational. Many times what is said to you or about you or by you is just, where is that coming from? And that's what you're saying. So there's no point in defending yourself when it wouldn't matter to them because they believe a certain thing about you or something that, you did that, you didn't do, but it's not going to change. So you know who you are, and that's what's important. You also know who they are, and that's even more important. It makes it easier for you to ignore their nonsense, and I put that in quotes because that's basically what it is. They will say and they will do anything to push your button, and you need to be aware that it is their nonsense. It's whatever is going on with them, and it's not you. So you know who you are and how you are, and you certainly know what they're saying is not true. So don't get caught up in it. It makes it easier for you to ignore their nonsense. Okay, number 12. Do not, and I have to emphasize, do not, under any circumstances, become like them. Instead, be an example of tolerance, of patience, of kindness, of respect, and understanding. So what is it you're doing? You're being aware at all times when you are around difficult people that you do not want to lash out and become angry and nasty like they are. We're all influenced by the people around us, but don't allow these difficult people to make you engage in any of the behaviors that gave them the bad reputation they are known by. So you don't want people to be saying, oh, my God, look, she became just like him or he became just like her. It may be that your kindness and sensibility will actually get through to them and make them better people. We can only hope so. And that is the goal of following these 12 ways to handle difficult. So you have it. 12 suggestions that you could apply on a daily basis. And I suggest you write down what works and what doesn't work when you're around them, because sometimes you may forget that, oh, my God, this by de-escalating them, by saying whatever, that helped. You may forget that works. So write down what works around these people so that you will actually have a record. I'm hoping that you're not around these people all the time. I'm hoping that these difficult people come in and out of your life, occasionally, and that you could live your life with wonderful, supportive, positive people around you. But if that's not the case, and sometimes people are living with difficult people, and you need to choose your fights and choose your way of handling them, very appropriately and skillfully, because again, they are experts. And you're not, you may be the amateur in how to, be that way. And you don't want to become the expert either in being a nasty person. So I hope these suggestions have helped you in your situation. And if you need any further information from me, you can contact me at amybethsherman@gmail.com. That's AMYBETHSHERMAN@gmail.com. You could also check out my website, joyofoptimism.com. And on that website, you can get my free ebook, How to Be Happy, 7 Keys to Finding Your Joy. All you got to do is just give me your email address, and it will be sent to you immediately. And it's a wealth of wonderful information to keep you feeling high and spirited and feeling good, empowering you to live your best life. And that's what this show is all about. This is Amy Sherman. I'm signing off now. This is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Divorce, Dating, and Empowered Living Show. Bye now. See you next time.